Yo, yo, what's up? Welcome to the workshop page at Producer Dojo. I'm Il Gates, and I have taught many workshops over the years. I've taught some of the biggest names in the biz. I've taught Bass Nectar Ableton, Minnesota, and G Jones have been to my workshops. I helped build the Beats Antique live rig. Tons of people. And I've been teaching for a long time, and I have put together what I feel is the best workshop I've ever made. It's called TheWorkflow. It's 4 hours long, and it's all about the big picture, putting it all together, developing a workflow so that you can actually get tracks done and not just make loops or, get halfway and get frustrated because it doesn't sound like your favorite artist. Yeah, that problem that every single producer ever has to face. It's all about facing that problem. So that workshop, I call it TheWorkflow, and I would say it is just mandatory for any producer. But in addition to all of the knowledge contained therein, buying the workflow gets you access to something very cool and very new at the Producer Dojo, and that is I am having open classes on Wednesday that are live on the internet where we can be covering anything. It's like different subjects every week. We might be covering, rhythm foundations one week, and then the next week we'll be talking about mix downs, and then the next week we'll be learning about all the different kinds of compressors, and the next week, there's this huge list of subjects, and people have been suggesting subjects to me, but they're not open to anybody. They're only open to people who have finished the workflow, because I don't want to just have this class full of people like making dick jokes and asking questions that don't make any sense. The class, you got to do the workflow. You got to learn how to make the process simple before we can make it complicated, right? Because if you go on YouTube, there's a million and one tutorials like how to use such and such a plugin, how to make chords like Elenium, how to make Skrillex bass, etc. And these are interesting, but they just make the process more and more complicated, and it kind of tends to lead to that like option paralysis thing that a lot of us producers have. So I'm very results oriented with everything that I teach in Producer Dojo, because resumes don't matter in the music industry. You're only as good as the tracks you put out. So really, the workflow is all about making the process simple and getting you finishing tracks. And then once you're comfortable finishing tracks, once you have a simple workflow that you can get a creative result and a quality result every time, and you're comfortable, then we can start going into the little rabbit holes one at a time, introducing this element of complexity, refining the workflow, introducing that element of complexity, refining the workflow, etc. So for $20, not only do you get the full 4-hour best workshop I've ever made, the workflow, but you also get access to my open classes each and every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Pacific, and you can join the class, meet some of your fellow producers, ask me questions directly, and get taught every week at no additional charge. So if that's not worth $20, I don't know what is. 4 hours of the best workshop I've ever made, and then also classes every week. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's a no-brainer. So do yourself a favor. Watch the workflow as soon as you can, and then I will see you on Wednesdays. All right, peace.